The rain from Tropical Storm Elsa is clearing up in the Triad, but there's still a chance of more rain this evening. You're taking a live look right now at Curie Beach, the fishing pier there just before 11 o'clock this morning. The wind whipped at the waves as Elsa moved across the coast. If the wind knocked any trees over or if the rain flooded any homes, families would need to take care of repairs. And this is where insurance comes into play, and you need to know what your insurance does for you. So North Carolina Department of Insurance Commissioner Mike Causey is joining us on 2 Wants to Know to talk about what his department does for you and to answer your questions. So this is how you get your questions to him. You text those questions, and that text number is 336-379-5775. Remember, this is text only, so please don't call. All right, first and foremost, let's start with disaster preparedness, because that's kind of what's on everyone's mind. And let's start with flood insurance, because everybody says, do I need it? I don't live in a floodplain.
Thank you, Tanya. Yes, you need it. If it rains where you live, you need flood insurance. We saw so many flooded homes during Hurricane Florence, and we had about 80,000 insurance claims that got nothing because it was homeowners only, and homeowners does not cover flood insurance.
That's right. There is no standard homeowners policy that covers floods, so it's an extra thing. And there's a special 30-day waiting period for coverage to take effect. So explain what that is.
Well, you can't purchase a flood policy when there's a named storm. So if you wanted to call up today, you couldn't buy it until Elsa gets out of the way. And once you purchase that flood insurance policy, there is, as you said, a 30-day waiting period.
All right, and at the bottom of that graphic, we had these two words. It was replacement cost. So what does replacement cost mean? What do we need to know about that when we're looking at our insurance policy?
Well, first of all, I encourage people to go talk with your insurance agent to make sure that you have replacement coverage, because it makes all the difference in the world when you file a claim. You have depreciation on furniture and items. If you have replacement costs, it will pay for brand new purchases of furniture. If you don't have replacement, you may have a piece of furniture that you think is very valuable, and you may get $5 for it because of depreciation. So it's very important not only on homeowners, but also on automobile insurance.
Okay, so explain that, since we're on that thing. What replacement cost does for you for automobile insurance that most people maybe are not thinking of?
If you drive a car that's 2 or 3 years old and it's a total loss, replacement coverage will pay for a brand new current year vehicle, which is a huge difference as opposed to your older vehicle being depreciated at a price you may not agree with.
Right, because sometimes you're still paying on that car and you would still be kind of like upended in that, right? They're only going to give you $5,000 for the car, but you still owe $6,000 on the car.
That's right. You could owe more than you would get in the total loss settlement. So there's a policy you can purchase called gap coverage, but if you have the replacement value automobile coverage, that will help tremendously.
Okay, and I think people think to themselves, if I call my insurance agent, they're just going to talk me into spending more money. But your point is, you have to have a conversation to know that what you really think is covered is really covered.
Exactly, and it pays to talk with your agent because you want to make sure that you have enough coverage. You don't want to be overinsured, but you certainly don't want to be underinsured.
Right, and you could be overinsured in some aspects and underinsured in others, so find out what it is. All right, let's talk about fire safety. When it comes to fire safety in our homes, I think a lot of people think, all right, I've got a smoke detector in the kitchen. That's probably what I need.
Well, we just had smoke alarm Saturday, a few Saturdays ago, and it is so important. We've seen a large number of fire deaths in North Carolina in the past few weeks. We're up to 66 fire deaths in North Carolina so far this year. So you need that smoke alarm on every level of your house and in front of every bedroom, and make sure they're working. So you can buy smoke alarms now that are 10-year batteries. You don't have to replace those batteries for 10 years. So call your local fire department. They'll be happy to help come out and check that, or just make a point to go around and see how many smoke alarms are in your home and make sure they're working, and replace those batteries at least every 6 months or as needed.
Right.
And as I said, the new smoke alarms, you can buy 10-year smoke alarms and not worry about it.
Right there, and at the very bottom of that, it said teach kids what that sounds like, so that they're not wondering if it happens in the middle of the night what that is, and also teach them where to go. We're going to continue talking to the insurance commissioner when we come back, taking your text questions. We'll be there in just a few minutes.